So what you're seeing on the screen right now is what we call the small boats data, or the small boat crossings data. This is the number of people that cross the English Channel every single day to the UK. Now, let me make it clear. These people don't even have legal permission to be in the UK. They are what we call irregular migrant or illegal immigrant, to make you understand it much better.
Tonight, we have a rare glimpse into the flow of migrants between mainland Europe and the UK. Thousands each year are willing to risk a dangerous channel crossing, all for the shot of a better life. Why are they going from France to the UK, and what's being done about it?
They do not have permission to be in the UK. They cross the channel, risking their lives in these small boats. Some of them die, they never make it to the UK. Others also eventually arrive in the UK. And usually when they arrive in the UK, they come to seek asylum, okay? Maybe they will say that, because of their sexual preference, they're being persecuted in their countries, or let's say there's conflict, or because of their religion, they cannot live safely in their countries, or let's say they are fleeing from poverty or conflict or whatever. Okay, various reasons they come to the UK. Now, these numbers are huge. Okay, let's look at the numbers in a bit more detail. Now, if you look at 2018, the number of people that actually came to the UK in 2018 to seek asylum were 38,483. Now, a few years down the line in 2024, this number was 108,000 in 2024. We are just midway into 2025, and already we have exceeded over 48%. So just midway into the year, if you compare the numbers to midway 2024, we have exceeded this number by 20,000 people. The UK government is not happy, because when these people come to seek asylum, aside the fact that they are paying people to process their asylum applications, they also have to provide these people with accommodation, they have to provide these people with food, they even give them weekly allowance, and this has costed the UK government millions of pounds every single day. So they have come out with a new policy called one in, one out. It's quite interesting, and I want you to stay tuned and listen to the details. Okay. So hi guys, welcome once again to my channel. Before I go into this one in, one out agreement or policy that's going to take effect very, very soon, let me just issue this warning. If you're watching me and you're in the UK, you're in Canada, you're in the US, okay, and you want to send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Rwanda, Benin, Cameroon, Togo, all these countries you see on the screen, be very, very careful. Now, there was this news flying around on TikTok that I think I have to share. One, because it's very, very common, and two, because a lot of people are beginning to fall prey again. When I came to the UK, it was one of the first advice that I got, that never do this. And I feel like people have not really clocked it, that it can actually land them in serious trouble. People are just thinking, oh, it's just offering help, and it's landing them in massive, massive trouble. And I think my audience need to know this as well. So you see, everybody is in about maybe 3 or 4 WhatsApp groups. And in the WhatsApp group, especially the ones that are for people based in the UK or people based in the US, let's say your church group, your community group for migrants, whatever, you're probably going to hear somebody saying, I have pounds, who wants cedis in Ghana? Or I have pounds, who wants naira back home? So what they do is that they'll tell you they have a much better rate, okay? So let's say when you check Google now, let's say £1 is to, let's say, 14 Ghana cedis or whatever, then they will say they are going to make it even better, and they'll give you £1 to 15. So they'll tell you that you give the cedis, right, to somebody back in your home country, let's say Nigeria, Ghana, and then they'll give you the pounds here in the UK. They'll transfer the pounds into your account, okay, at a better rate, right? You are giving your legit money. Let's say you've made your family member give them their money in cedis, and then they are promising to give you the pounds over here at a better rate. Now, you probably don't even know them personally, but they take your account details, backdoor, and then they send you the money, right? This has landed my husband's friend in trouble. He was being investigated by the police, and just recently, another news surfaced on the internet where this lady's bank account has been shut down from, all the popular banks in the UK. I'll leave the video here so you watch it yourself.
Hi, my name is Kofi Bedu, and this is a scam alert. Please listen carefully. I just had a heartbreaking call from a lady in London, and I feel compelled to share her story. Please, if you live in the UK or any Western country and often send money to Ghana or vice versa, please take 3 minutes to listen to this. It could save you a lifetime of stress. So here's what happened. This lady, out of kindness, decided to help someone in Ghana secure a student admission abroad. She handled all the paperwork, got the admission sorted, and all was going well. The student needed to pay tuition fees in pounds. So she decided to source pounds for the student. Something many of us have done. Who needs cedis? I've got pounds to give. Like most people, she posted in local WhatsApp and social media groups to find someone who wanted to do an exchange. She found someone offering a slightly better rate than usual. Sounds good, right? She gave her Lloyd's bank account details to the person. The person sent her the pounds, and the cedis were delivered to the person's agents back in Ghana. Smooth transaction. Everyone was happy. Or let's say so it seemed. Fast forward 6 months. Lloyd's freezes her account. They ask, where did this transfer come from? She had no clue. She had never met the person, never spoke to them directly again, and couldn't even recall the full details. It was just one of those connect and go social media deals. Turns out the money was linked to fraud. Her account was implicated in a scam unknowingly. Now, she can't open any high street bank account in the UK. No Barclays, no Lloyds, no HSBC, no NatWest, none. She's literally locked out of the financial system for something she thought was just a simple exchange to help someone. All because she wanted to save a few pounds on the exchange rate. This is real life, people, not just social media stories. If you live abroad, please use legit channels, even if it costs a bit more. Always verify where money is coming from. Don't let better rates lure you into becoming a part of a scam trail. Your entire financial future can be ruined by one harmless transaction. Please, let us protect ourselves. Let's stay sharp. Let us share this to warn others. As usual, I'm just saying this. Please think about it.
And apparently, this person who was sending the money, this person was sending it from a victim of a scam. So let's say they start chatting, let's say it's a romance scam, for example, and they start chatting with this person, right? And they tell the person, I need you to send me money for whatever. And then now they give you account to the person, right? And then they will transfer that amount of money that you think is legit from your WhatsApp group member to your account. So fast forward, is this white lady, white man, whatever, later clocks it that these people are scammers because, they report to the police. The police said, what account number did you send the money to? Now it is your account that is going to be in trouble. This person has already received the legit cedis or legit naira, and you are now being investigated for fraud or for scam. Probably you're a nurse, you don't have any issues with fraud or scam, you don't even know how to do it. Probably don't even know how to type. Now you're being classified as Yahoo, or you're part of the gang and you're being investigated. It happened to a lady, but this is very, very common. It's actually happened to my husband's friend in London as well. Unknowingly received money on behalf for somebody, and it has been an issue. Anytime somebody says that, oh, I'm going to let somebody send money to your account so that you will give it back to me, or I'm going to, if you need pounds in exchange for cedis, I'll give you at this rate. Do not do it because you're not sure, unless you really, really trust this person. It's very, very scary. It's simple. Just use LemFi. Just use LemFi and save yourself the trouble of being investigated for fraud. Now, LemFi is regulated by the UK Financial Conduct Authority. They are regulated. They are doing the right things financial wise to be able to transfer your money for you. So if you're in the UK, Canada, US, and you need to send money from any of these countries to these African countries you see on the screen, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Benin, Rwanda, all of these countries you see on the screen, guys, use LemFi. They not only have very competitive rates, but they are safe and they are legit. You save yourself from being investigated for fraud or scam in the future, just like this lady in the story, okay? And remember that for your first transfer above £100, you get a bonus when you use the referral code Nanelle, and you get cash back as well. Remember to use the referral code Nanelle for your first transfer above £100 to get $20 cash back or 20 Canadian dollars cash back, okay? Just remember to use my code, guys, and there are no transfer charges and the rates are highly competitive. And ever since I started using them, I've never had any issues with LemFi. So use LemFi, save yourself from all that trouble. Now back to the matter. So this new agreement is called one in, one out agreement, and this agreement is actually with France, okay? And the Prime Minister, the UK Prime Minister, mentioned this just a few days ago. So what does this mean? Now, for every illegal person, what if you are coming from France? If you're coming on a small boat from France, you will be returned back to France. One in, one out. Now, in exchange, France is actually going to give the UK one asylum seeker in France who, for that person, has never attempted to cross the channel, the English channel, illegally, okay, but has family ties in the UK. Do you get it? So let's say Kumshasha, right? Just a name I came up with, right? Comes to the UK on a small boat and you came from France. The UK will now send you back to France. And then you, Kumshasha, you may not ever be able to come. If you come, they will take you back. But for a person who is also an asylum seeker in France, and for that person has been patient and has not attempted to travel illegally or irregularly and risk their lives using small boats, but has family ties in the UK, as part of a reward for that person not trying to cross the English channel, the UK government will now say, as for you, I will now process and bring you into the UK. So it's one in, one out. Somebody will ask, how does this make sense? So now listen, UK is saying that this is going to make sense because if people know that they will be sent back, now there's an agreement, and this agreement has been approved by the UN Asylum Agency, okay, the United Nations Asylum Agency. So now, if you cross it, you're going back. Initially, they could not really send people back like that, but now you are going back, and this has been approved by the UN. The Rwanda did not work. Now you're going back to France if you came back from France. And somebody will ask, why do they come back from France? I'll talk about that one later. So you come, you're going back, and in exchange, France will now give somebody who was also an asylum seeker, who has family in the UK and want to come to the UK, the opportunity to now come legally to the UK. Now, the UK is saying that probably, in my opinion, I think the UK is looking at it this way, that if you really have family in the UK, right, and for you do not attempt to cross it illegally and come here illegally, you'll probably have accommodation maybe provided by your family members, and then probably you would have support with your family and all of that. So the UK might not really need to spend on need that much, like the rest of the people that are coming and they're coming to stay in hotels and all of that. I am thinking that that is what the UK is probably looking at. Now, France is also saying that loads of migrants that come to France only come there because they know that because of the positioning of France on the map, they will be able to cross later to the UK. So the French president is saying that that's also going to help them because they've realized that a third of migrants that actually come to their country illegally are not really looking to stay in their country. They're only coming there because they think they can go to the UK or they can come to the UK later on the small boats. That's why they're actually coming to France. They didn't even intend to come to France in the first place. Maybe because of the language barrier, the French, and maybe because they already have family in the UK. So France is saying that that's also going to reduce the number of people coming to France illegally as well, because at the end of the day, when you know that when you finally come to France and you cross the channel illegally, you will be sent back to France, which you do not want in the first place because of the language and because of, let's say, difficult to get a job and because you don't know anybody there. You will not want to come in the first place because you know you'll be sent back. So UK thinks they are benefiting because they will not now have to spend a lot of money on accommodation and probably food because this person coming already has a family here who might support this person. And French is saying that, oh, the number of people coming to France illegally will reduce because they'll realize that when they come, they can't go to their UK, their favorite UK anymore. Now, what are the other southern countries saying? When I talk about southern EU countries, but the southern EU countries like Italy, Spain, Greece, Cyprus, Malta, those other countries, they are not happy. So when you look at the positioning of these other countries on the map, you realize that usually people that cross from Libya and all of those countries to Europe, they usually settle in one of these EU southern countries because of their positioning on the map. You're either going to go to Italy, you're gonna either go to France, you're either going to go to Spain, Greece, Malta, and Cyprus based on where you land, right? Now, these other people are not happy because they are saying that now if you, UK and France, you have a deal, so now the people will not now want to go to France because they know that if they are coming from France into the UK, they will be sent back. What about if they are coming from Malta? What about if they are coming from Greece? What about if they are coming from Spain? So, okay, so those people, they will not be sent back. So they will now want to come to Greece, Spain, Italy illegally, hoping that because these countries don't have a deal with the UK, maybe yet, now, for them, they will not be sent back because there's no agreement. So it will make people want to go to those countries instead of France. So they are not happy. And we don't know how this is going to end, but this is it. And apparently this is not the first time such a thing has happened. The UK is hoping that this new deal will mean about 50 asylum seekers will be sent every week back to France. right? That's the estimate. Now, apparently this is not the first time. Apparently there's such a deal between Turkey and the Greek islands. So lots of people leave Turkey to go to the Greek islands, okay? They settle in Turkey. Let's say they use the boat to go to Turkey. When they go to Turkey, they're not happy because of, let's say, their religion, the language, everything. Then they now want to go to the Greek islands for maybe a better life, right? So now there was a deal between Turkey and the Greek islands. So in the deal, for every illegal immigrant or crosser that leaves Turkey to the Greek islands, they will be returned from the Greek islands back to Turkey. And one Syrian refugee who stayed legally in Turkey without moving illegally could now be legally settled in the EU. Okay, so there was such a deal. As to whether it was effective or not, I'll leave it for them to say. But that is what they think will work now. The UK, I say, is trying to cut down migration in whatever way possible. And this is one of the ways. Rwanda did not help. Now, this is what they intend to do now. Do you think this will work? Or do you think it will not work? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. For me, I think that it's probably not going to work. Some of these illegal, they don't care. They don't even listen to the news. They're not even going to hear this anyway. They might not even hear this, okay? And so they'll still come. And some of them, even if they hear, they'll still take the chance. For me, I think until development and the quality of life is improved in these countries that these people are coming from, it's never going to stop. These boat crossings will never stop. Because if they still have conflict in their countries, if they still have hunger, they still have poverty, there are no jobs, very difficult way of life, and all of that is still in their countries. They will risk their lives regardless to travel and then come to the UK to seek for a better life. So until all these monies that are spent with asylum seeking and all of the millions are spent to improve quality of life in these countries where these people are coming from, Syria and all of these countries, until life is improved there, and education, availability of jobs, healthcare, quality of life and all of that is improved, they are still going to come, because they are still going to think that life here, life on the boats, life elsewhere will be better than their countries, and they are still going to come and risk their lives regardless. That's what I think. I don't know what you think. This is not going to be a deterrent. When they said they were sending them to Rwanda, they were still coming. The numbers are crazy. I understand why the UK government is probably not happy with this, but just so you know, those southern EU countries, those that are just along where the people first settle when they come from Libya and Africa and the other war-torn countries, those countries receive even more asylum seekers than the UK. Just that the UK is just loud. Think about it. They are the first to receive these people from their countries. Some of them, they settle in these countries and they never move. They never even think of crossing the boat again to come to the UK. But some settle in France, Italy, Spain, and they eventually come to the UK. But most of them stay there. Listen to this. The UK receives fewer asylum applications for 16 for every 10,000 people living in the UK, which is lower than the EU average of 22 per 10,000. But these countries don't make as much noise with asylum seeking and migration as much as the UK is. My people will never fail to disappoint. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Bye.